Abia, I thank you for this day, this Shabbat. The Shabbat's actually coming to an end. It's still sun up, so it's still going forth. I know some people are probably done with their Shabbat, but still sun up. So still Shabbat for me. I thank you, Abba. Thank you, Ab, for just being with me and my family through this time and this season. Um, I just hope that you are pleased with me and my family. May we go forth and do ministry at all times and be available to receive ministry, even at all times. Sometimes there's a lack of focus on my part, and I ask your forgiveness for that, but also ask that you give me direction so that I'm able to hear things and not draw away that may conflict with what I know from you. I still want to be able to, I guess, chew the fat, or however, chew the meat and spit out the fat and spit out the bones, or however that's said. But I need to do better. I was distracted today. I heard something, and it's got me wanting to speak on something. So thank you, Yah, for giving me this time, and may I not go contradictory to what you're saying. And if I'm off, may you teach me. May you send someone to correct me. Let us go. Let us go and talk. Hallelujah. All right. Well, I want to talk on this Isaiah 53 subject. When I came up in Christianity, of course, I was always taught that text was speaking of Yahusha, or at that time, I was recognizing as Jesus. The thing is, as I mature and read, I bring forth questions. I look at the text and I see that Isaiah is the author, and Isaiah has experiences. He has relationship with people, and those things should come into play, especially the words that he used. Of course, many of the words that we have learned to read are translations or transliterations into English, and thus not the actual Hebrew. But I tend to believe that people have brought forth their influences in Christianity and superimposed that on the text. I myself was guilty of that. But as I read it now, is brought to question. Is that what it's saying? So I want to go there. I'm going to share my screen, and in doing so, we're going to talk. Let's go. We're going to go to Isaiah, or Yeshayahu, Yeshayah, or Yeshayahu, or that's where we're going to go first to start off. And I'm going to have it where that you can see the King James Version, basically the American rendition of it. And I like to use the TS 2009, the Scriptures versions 2009. And so it's on the screen. So if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, you can actually read it as I read the Scriptures 2009. You can see it on the screen. So it says here, who has believed our report? Our report. I'm going to read that slowly because our report, usually our means plural. And to whom was the arm of Yahuwah revealed? Whom was the arm of Yahuwah revealed. Revealed, that ed usually means past tense. For he grew, not he should grow or would grow, but he grew, again, past tense, up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or splendor that we should look upon him. Our report, and now it's again, we should look upon him, nor appearance that we should desire him. Now, of course, many have superimposed Yahusha, but when this text was written, there was no documentation of that time frame had not occurred. And so why would this man, Isaiah, or Yeshayahu, or Yeshayah, be speaking in the past tense, as well as why would he be speaking of our as well as we? Despised and rejected by men, a man of pains and knowing sickness. So a man of pains and knowing sickness. Now, Yahusha, from the story, I know nothing about his sicknesses. I know he supposedly knew pain. He knew pain. So, okay, let's read that 3 over here in King James. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. We, plural, esteemed, past tense, him not. As one from whom the face is hidden, being despised, and we did not consider him. Past tense again. Truly, he has borne our sickness and carried our pains. He has. This is Isaiah or Yeshayah saying this in the past tense. Did not say that this would happen in the future. He didn't say he will bore our sicknesses. He said he has. He has already done it and carried our pains. Yet we reckon him smitten, stricken by Elohim, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was pierced, past tense. He was crushed for our crookedness. For our crookedness is Yeshayah speaking of him and someone else's. He's speaking again about a group of people, or our multiple people, or more than just him. And he's using the past tense. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. We are healed. So right there, he's talking about present and something past. They are healed. We all, like sheep, went astray. He's speaking for himself too. Each one of us has turned to his own way, and Yahuwah has laid on him the crookedness of us all. He was oppressed, past tense. And he was afflicted, past tense. But he did not open his mouth. He did not open his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, but he did not open his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and as his generation, generation is a time frame. And for his generation, who considered that he shall be cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people, he was stricken. Let's see what that says over here in 8. For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Is this Yah speaking, or is this again Isaiah? It sounds as if it's still Isaiah. It did not shift. Okay, and he was appointed a burial site with the wrong and with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence, nor was deceit in his mouth. But Yahuwah was pleased to crush him. He laid sickness on him that when he made himself an offering for guilt, he made himself an offering for guilt. He would see a seed. Usually seed means a child, but I've heard so many stories. This is talking about, that Yahusha would see Israel, but that's again superimposing. He would prolong his days. He would prolong his days. Did Yahusha prolong his days? And the pleasure of Yahuwah prosper in his hand. I need to go look at this guilt offering. Let's go look at a guilt offering, and then we'll come back. We're right here on 10. But I kind of put some things here. So guilt offering, we're going to start here at Leviticus, or Wayekra, I guess that's how I'm saying it, probably wrong. But we're going to go to Leviticus 5:15. Says, when a being commits a trespass and has sinned by mistake against the set apart matters of Yahuwah, then he shall bring to Yahuwah as his guilt offering a ram, a perfect one from the flock. A perfect one. That's a key word there, a perfect one. With your set valuation in shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the set apart place, as a guilt offering. And he shall make good for the sin that he has done. So the person that's bringing the offering is his guilt offering, and it's for the sin he has done against that which is set apart. Not others have done, but what he has done. And shall add 1/5 to it and give it to the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And when any being sins and has done what is not to be done against any of the commands of Yahuwah, though he knew it not, yet he shall be guilty and shall bear his crookedness. Then he shall bring to the priest a ram, a perfect one from the flock, with your valuation, as a guilt offering, and the priest shall make atonement for his mistake he committed unintentionally, though he did not know it, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a guilt offering. He was truly guilty before Yahuwah. He was truly guilty before Yahuwah. Okay. Let's continue over to Leviticus 6 here and read a couple more. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, when any being sins and committed a trespass against Yahuwah and has lied to his neighbor about a deposit or about a pledge or about a robbery, or shall extort from his neighbor, or has found what was lost and has lied concerning it, or did swear falsely, so that he sins in regard to any of all these that a man does. Then it shall be when he sins and shall be guilty, that he shall return that what he took by robbery, or what he has extorted, or the deposit which he has deposited with him, or the lost item which he found, and all that which he swore falsely, he shall repay its total value, add 1/5 more to it, and give it to whom it belongs on the day of his guilt offering. Okay. All right. I think I got something here in 7, 1 through 6. So it starts here, 7. All right. Leviticus 7. And this is the Torah, or the law, of the guilt offering. It is most set apart. The guilt offering is slain in the place where they slay the ascending offering, and its blood is sprinkled on the slaughter place all around. Then he brings from it all its fat, the fat tail, and the fat that covers the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the slaughter place. So a guilt offering is burnt as an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a guilt offering. Well, this one is. Interesting. Every male among the priests eats it, and it is eaten in a set apart place. It is most set apart. The guilt offering is like the sin offering. There is one law or Torah for them both. The priest who makes atonement with it, it is his. Okay. All right, let's go down to 7. Okay. Let's see. I think it's 14 that I'm going to next. 14, go down to 12. Let me see. I think it's 12 through 14. And the priest shall take 1 male lamb and bring it as a guilt offering, and a log of oil, and wave them as a wave offering before Yahuwah. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he slays the sin offering and the ascending offering in the set apart place, for the guilt offering, like the sin offering, belongs to the priest. It is the most set apart. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the tip of the right ear of him who is to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Okay. I think you're getting the gist. I'm gonna still hit a couple more. And then I'm gonna go back to where I started. Let's see, 19, I think it's 20 and 22. Leviticus 19, 20 and 22. And it says, and when a man has intercourse with a woman who is a female servant engaged to a man and to be ransomed, but she has not been ransomed nor set free, there should be an inquiry, but they are not put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his guilt offering to Yahuwah to the door of the tent of appointment, a ram as a guilt offering. So, and the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before Yahuwah for his sin which he has done, and the sin which he has sinned shall be forgiven him. So there's different type of guilt offerings, but it seems as if the guilt offering is for the person themselves who the guilt is on. They bring it. Okay. Let me see. Let me go over the numbers. I think I got 2 over there in Bamidbar, or Numbers 5, verse 5 through 8, I think it is. Basically, it's going to probably be hitting the same thing. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, when a man or a woman commits any sin that men commit in trespass against Yahuwah, and that being is guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, so confess it, and he shall restore his guilt in its principal plus 1/5 of it, and give it to whom he has been guilty. But if the man has no relative to restore the guilt to, the guilt which is restored goes to Yahuwah, to the priest, in addition to the ram of atonement, with which atonement is made for him. Let's go over to 6. And I'm not going to read this, but because it basically goes over the same thing. But I'm going to go back and start back at the beginning just a little bit, because I want to address something, and I'm going to go somewhere. It says, who has believed our report? Again, who has believed our report, and to whom was the arm of Yahuwah revealed? Past tense again. For he grew up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or splendor that we should look upon him, nor appearance that we should desire him. Despised and rejected by men, a man of pains and knowing sickness, and as one from whom the face is hidden, being despised, and we did not consider him. So, man of pains and knowing sickness. Remember that. Truly he has borne our sickness and carried our pains, yet we reckon him smitten, stricken by Elohim, and afflicted. Remember who the writer of this is. This is Yeshayahu, or this is Isaiah. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our crookedness. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. We all, like sheep, went astray. Each one of us has turned to his own way, and Yahuwah has laid on him the crookedness of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted. Remember that. But he did not open his mouth. Remember that. He was led as a lamb to slaughter, and as a sheep before his shearers is silent, but he did not open his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And as for his generation, remember that, his generation, his time frame, his lifetime, who considered that he shall be cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people, he was stricken. He was stricken. And he was appointed a burial site. He was appointed a burial site. So basically, he was given a time of death, or death was pronounced on him, with the wrong and with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence, nor was deceit in his mouth. But Yahuwah was pleased to crush him. He laid sickness on him, that when he made himself an offering for guilt, he would see a seed. The offering of guilt would be dead. How is he going to see a seed unless he lives? He would prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahuwah prosper in his hands. He would see the result of the suffering of his life. He would see the result of the suffering of his life and be satisfied. That's interesting. Through his knowledge, my righteous servant makes many righteous, and he bears their crookedness. Therefore, I give him a portion among the great. Not all, but a portion among the great. And he divides the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his being unto death. And he was counted with the transgressors, and he bore the sin of many and made intercession. He made intercession for the transgressors. All right, let's get to my point. We'll go back here to Malachi, or 2 Kings 18. Read a little bit here. And it came to be in the 3rd year of Hosea, son of Elah, sovereign of Israel, that Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, sovereign of Yehudah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Abi, daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right. Remember that perfect one? He did what was right in the eyes of Yahuwah, according to all that his father David did. He took away the high places and broke the pillars and cut down the Asherah and broke in pieces the bronze serpent which Moshe had made. For until those days, the children of Israel burnt incense to it and called it Nehushtan. So they made it into an idol. He put his trust in Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, and after him was none like him among the sovereigns of Yehudah, nor who were before him. And he clung to Yahuwah. He did not turn away from him. He did not turn away from him, but guarded his commands, which Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And Yahuwah was with him. Wherever he went, he acted wisely, and he rebelled against the sovereign of Asher and did not serve him. I think that's enough of that. Now I want to go to the key part. The key. In the days of Hezekiah, so we in Malachi 2, chapter 20, or 2 Kings 20. In the days of Hezekiah, in those days, Hezekiah was sick unto death. He was afflicted unto death. And Yeshayahu the prophet, son of Amatz, went to him and said, Thus said Yahuwah, command your house, for you are going to die. You're going to die and not live. And he, who was he? Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed to Yahuwah, saying, I pray to you, O Yahuwah, remember how I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done what was good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. Okay. remember, Isaiah or Yeshayahu spoke of what was past tense, what he witnessed. Right now, he's witnessing, or he gave a declaration of death towards Hezekiah. He witnessed him turn towards the wall. Doesn't say that he heard him pray, but we know that he prayed. Could it be that he was in silence? I don't want to put my own take on it and say he was in silence. I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to superimpose what I want to add to it. I'm not going to do that. Go to 3 again. I pray to you, O Yahuwah, remember how I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done what was good in your eyes. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And it came to be before Yeshayahu had gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahuwah came to him, saying, return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people, thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Dawid, your father, I have heard your prayer. I've heard your petition. I have seen your tears. See, I am going to heal you. He was wounded, he was afflicted, and now he's going to be healed. On the 3rd day, so in 3 days, he would get up and go up to the house of Yahuwah. So on the 3rd day, he would rise, or he rose to go to the house of Yahuwah. I guess you could say I'm adding words there, but on the 3rd day, he'd go up. So got up, rose, using different language, different terms, but he rose on the 3rd day to go to the house of Yahuwah. I guess you can say I'm really putting my own words because that's not what's right here, but we know English wasn't right there. And I shall add, prolong. I shall prolong. No, okay. I should add to your days 15 years and deliver you and this city from the hand of the sovereign of Asher, and shall defend this city for my own sake. So this man, what he did benefited the whole city, the whole people, the whole nation, for my own sake and for the sake of Dawid, my servant. And Yeshayahu said, take a cake of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil. So that was some of his affliction, his ailment. Boils had you looking jacked up too. And he recovered. And Hezekiah said to Yeshayahu, what is the sign that Yahuwah does heal me, and that I shall go up to the house of Yahuwah the 3rd day? And Yeshayahu said, this is the sign for you from Yahuwah, that Yahuwah does the word which he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or backward 10 degrees? And Hezekiah said, it would be easy for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go backwards 10 degrees. And Yeshayahu the prophet cried out to Yahuwah, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had done going down on the sundial of Ahaz. I'm going to go back over there again. Let's go back. All right, back to the Isaiah 53. Who has believed our report? There was a report. The writer is saying this. And to whom was the arm of Yahuwah revealed? Again, the writer is saying this. This is not him, somebody else, somewhere else saying it. He's saying it. For he grew up before him as a tender plant. Grew up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or splendor that we should look upon him. Sounds as if, again, Isaiah witnessed and seen this person, that he should look upon him, nor appearance that we should desire him. But of course, people want to say is what, years and years after, and it's Yahusha. Despised and rejected by men, a man of pains and knowing sickness. Knowing sickness. Hezekiah knew sickness. Yeshayahu or Isaiah witnessed all of that. And as one from the face is hidden, being despised, and we did not consider him. Truly, he was born, he has borne our sickness and carried our pains, yet we reckon him smitten, stricken by Elohim, and afflicted. People knew that Hezekiah was going through something. People expected him to die. He was given a pronunciation of death. He was pierced for our transgression. He was crushed for our crookedness. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. When he became healed, when Hezekiah became healed, all that Asher was planning on doing to Israel, did it continue or did it cease? Did the death and the imprisonment, all the things that was supposed to come to Israel at that time, did it occur or did it stop? Did those stripes come, stay, and eventually end, or what? What happened? We all, like sheep, went astray. Each one of us has turned to his own way, and Yahuwah has laid on him the crookedness of us all. Him being healed, he was able to get back up into the rule of that nation and live for 15 more years. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, but he did not open his mouth. The man was praying against the wall. Most people, when they pray in silent, but I don't know. I can't say, I wasn't there. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter. Hezekiah told him, you finna die. And as a sheep before a shearer is silent, but he did not open his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. He was judged to be dead. And for his generation, who considered that he shall be cut off from the land of living. He was going to be cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people, he was stricken. And he was appointed a burial site with the wrong and with the rich at his death, because he had done no violence. We just got through saying that he did good. He had did what the commands had told him. He had followed the commandments. That he was a truthful person, that he was considered right and perfect. So no deceit was in his mouth. But Yahuwah was pleased to crush him. He laid sickness on him. What was his reason? If he did obey the law, why was he sick? But no, it wasn't him. It couldn't have been him. No, couldn't have been him. It couldn't have been that Isaiah witnessed Hezekiah, which he did. It couldn't have been him. It couldn't have been what he witnessed. It has to be something that is centuries later that he's talking about. It can't be what he's seen with his personal eyes. It's not that. It's not his first-hand recollection. No, it's something, far off. We being way over 2,000 years after that, we decided that it had to be Yahusha, which not mentioned. He didn't mention that. It's very vague, but we know that he had witnessed Hezekiah. We know that, but it's in the text. It's right there. But Yahuwah was pleased to crush him. He laid sickness on him, that when he made himself an offering for guilt, went over what a guilt offering was. He would see a seed. Hezekiah had a seed because the kingdom passed on to another. He would prolong his days. On the third day, he went up to the house, and his days were prolonged 15 more years. And the pleasure of Yahuwah prosper in his hand. It prospered so much, but you add to the story, he showed off all of the prospering to the Chaldeans, and then that's what opened up, the doorway for slavery or bondage to come, by Chaldea as well as Babylon. But yeah, he would see the result of the suffering of his life and be satisfied. Through his knowledge, my righteous servants make many righteous. What he went through covered Israel, and him following the commandments and him getting in order, Israel followed him. It was right over there in Malachim. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Abiyah, thank you for just this time to talk and question your text, and hopefully I did it justice. I already know I'm probably going to get rejected for this, but it is what it is. So many people have already had a fixed comprehension of the text, and I pray that some open up and seek you out and allow you to minister to them, allow your Ruach to minister, to say yay for yay and nay for nay, so that they can see if I'm wrong, or see if they've been wrong in how they've been reading Isaiah 53. Let them be open to trust your Ruach truly, and not bring anything to the comprehension that they have. Let them be able to lay everything to the side and be open to hear from you and get a clear comprehension, so if they can see if I'm wrong or what they've been taught is wrong. Either way, my job is done here. I may have to speak on this again, but I've spoken on it. I thank you for the opportunity. May you work with me to grow. May you work with my household so that we be ministry gifts towards your will and what purposes always. Hallelujah. 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 All right. Yeah. Shabbat shalom.